Jen from Scrapping Under the Influence. I am back today with a new project for the design team at Country Craft Creations. So I'm still playing with the Doodlebug Hometown USA, and I have got an album for you. It is 5.5 by 7.5. The pages are a full 5 by 7. It's got a 2-inch spine. It is very chunky, as you can tell. Again, I just got completely carried away just by virtue of how stinking cute this collection is. So there we go. So on the front and back cover, I have the Doodlebug acetate, firework acetate, over the blue artisan glitter paper. I know that has been discontinued, and she now has tonic glitter paper, so I will link the closest one to this in the description box below, along with everything else to make this project in the description box below. The acetate on the front is actually popped up just a little bit, and then the elements on top of it are popped up. I did use the set of fireworks acrylics from my store on here. We've got some white ribbon holding everything closed, and let's take a look inside. So inside, front inside cover, we've got a small 4x4 waterfall. That, of course, I didn't mat the entire waterfall page. It is built on a base to make it much easier to build and then put into your book. I trimmed the bottom off of some of the acetate, the acetate fireworks from the Bits and Pieces pack and tucked them in at the top up there. First page, we've just got a very basic pocket with some of the little journaling spots from the the Bits and Pieces pack. Chit Chat, odds and ends, and the little tab for my insert here, just very basic, is also from the Bits and Pieces. On the back side here, this flips down, you've got photo spots and journaling spots there. Flips up, you've got more photo spots, more journaling spots, and another nice pocket here that I've just got one of the leftover cut-aparts in. Over here we've got one of the Chit Chat, odds and ends pieces, Chit Chat. This is one of the this and that stickers. Again, my insert, I've got the tab from the Bits and Pieces. I did use several magnet sets because I ran out of ribbon. I intended on using more ribbon. That is not what ended up happening. Open this up, we've got a nice side load pocket with a couple more cut-aparts there. These are from the Chit Chat odds and ends. The stickers from the this and that sticker sheet as well. On this back side, I've got two big flaps here. These pieces and these pieces are both from the Bits and Pieces, Bits and Pieces. This is from Chit Chat, odds and ends, and Chit Chat. And again, the little tab on there is from the Bits and Pieces. Open this up, and we've got diagonal pockets, and again I've got little tags from the Bits and Pieces tucked in here. These are from the Chit Chat. These are also from the Chit Chat. The borders on here were to hide a boo-boo, so I do walk you through how I did that. And those are from the this and that sticker sheet. Okay, and here, these are cut-aparts. Open this up, you've got plenty of space for pictures. Open it up some more. These are also pieces from the Bits and Pieces, and these are both from the this and that sticker sheet. This is one of my acrylic shakers from my shop. I had used the last of my Doodlebug Land That I Love shaker fill when I was doing a demo video of how to put these together, and it was so stinking cute. I had to do it. I had to put it in here. This little star that I have put on the top of it is a sticker, you can see there, and that is also from the this and that. And the weight of this, and granted it's not super heavy, but it's enough to hold this little flap down. This is from the Chit Chat. I adhered it across my gap here and then cut it so that it still lined up perfectly. And then these little words are all from the this and that sticker sheet. And then again, our insert with the tab from the bits and pieces. I ended up not matting this insert on my little belly band here, which is fine. So it's ready to go for pictures. This is from the odds and ends. I did the fireworks again from the bits and pieces at the top here, and then my waterfall on this side is laid out and matted the same way as my one on the front. So there is the completed project. The tutorial will start next. As always, thank you for watching. I will link in the description box below all of the pieces and parts to make this project. Measurements and everything are given during the tutorial. I do not do written cutting guides because I do still get asked even after all this time. And let's get to it. Alright, so we are going to start with 2 pieces of chipboard, 5.5 by 7.5, 1 piece 5.5 by 2. You need a piece that is 7.5 by 2 to wrap your spine, and 2 pieces 7.5 by 9.5 to wrap your chipboard. Let me grab my scoreboard. And we are going to start with our spine piece. So you want to cover the back in tape. Get my backing off here. Okay. So the 2 inches across the top. You want 1.5 inches on each side, 1 inch top and bottom. Okay. For our front and back cover, you want 1 inch on each side. You want to cover the back again with tape. We're going to put that one down like so. And repeat with the second piece. Spacers. Move that out of the way. Okay, so this is what I've been lately. Have been kind of burnishing around the outside edge of my covers prior to folding, and it works really well. So that's what I'm going to do here, which doesn't seem to work as well with the big bone folder for this. Seems to like the little one better, which is fine. The big one is primarily just because of my occasional grip issues. Okay. All right, so for our spine, I'm going to go ahead and fold and burnish. I am using the red Artisan. So I'm going to go ahead and trim. And get those corners out. And so I'm just folding that around and then mitering those out. If you want to just cut along your fold lines and cut those out, and then miter. You can absolutely do that as well. I'm going to go ahead and add tape to my ends. And I'm also going to add tape out here to help it grab immediately when we put the cover on. Okay. Burnish, so glue along the edge of the chipboard, and our middle section there, fold and burnish, and then if you need to miter these just a little bit more, you can. Okay, that piece is almost ready to go. We're going to go along that outside edge one more time, and that's ready. Okay, so for this, the cover pieces, you're going to do the same process. The only difference being you're going to wrap all 4 sides, not just the 2 end pieces. So I'm folding and burnishing. And then I'm going to miter. Again, I'm going to go around my edges with my score tape. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get the backing off all the way around. And then we're going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to come in here with some glue, push up against the edge of the chipboard, and then over and down. I do like to do my short edges than my long edge. It honestly doesn't matter. You can just go around and do short, long, do the 2 long and then the short. It honestly does not matter. It's fine. Either way works. Okay, there's one cover. I'm going to do the exact same thing over here. Miter. miter. My light is like not where it's supposed to be. There we go. That's better. Okay. And then again, we're going to get the backing off all the way around. And then go ahead and wrap our chipboard. So I get asked every single time I post a video. This is the My Sweet Petunia precision glue press. I got it from their website. It is not carried on Country Craft Creations. I know Tammy had tried it and she didn't really love it. I just find with my wrist and my grip issues, it does seem to really help. So yeah, so it is available directly on their website. They try and tell you that it doesn't clog, which is not entirely true. It does, but not like the tips on the art glitter glue clog. I know what I'm trying to say. It doesn't clog as badly as the art glitter glue tips do. That being said, it comes with a bottle of Nuvo glue, and it comes with an empty bottle, which I then filled with art glitter, which works great. My only complaint is because the art glitter glue is thinner than the Nuvo glue, sometimes when you set it in the thing here, it will run out like a lot into this little pink well down here where the tip sits. So you do have to kind of watch and make sure it's sitting right. It's worse when it very first is refilled. It's much worse than if it's like about 2/3 of the way full. So yeah, just because I get asked every single time I post something. Okay, so pretty sides up. We're going to get the backing off of here. We're going to add glue, but we're not going to go all the way up to the edge of our spine. You're going to stay about 1/8 of an inch or so, 1/16 of an inch away. And Tammy had done something different that I actually thought was kind of genius. She's folding this all the way over, lining this up side to side. And with the edge, the top edge up here. I'm sorry, with the top edges right here together. I did not get mine lined up right. I thought it was kind of interesting, and I was like, I'm going to try this next time. Like that. You know what? That works. Takes a little bit of finagling. It's going to take some practice to get used to doing it that way, but it's not bad. Okay. So, holding that down, lining this up. Well, I'll be darned. Look at that. That went on there pretty much perfect. That's awesome. It's going to take some getting used to. It's going to take some practice, but that is an alternative to my method of putting it on here and kind of holding your finger and dragging it off. That actually worked really well. Okay, next up I have a piece that is 5 3/8 by 6 that we're going to put across the middle here to reinforce. This piece you absolutely will have the best results if you cover it edge to edge with tape on the back, because you're not going to worry about it bubbling, it not sticking down all the way, whatever. And down like that and burnish it down. And then bend your cover up and kind of burnish it down into that point where it bends. And there is our cover. Easy peasy. Okay. Next up, we're going to do our hinge. So our hinge is going to be 5 1/2 by 5. However, I went just a hair under 5 inches high. Okay. So about a 1/16 of an inch under 5 inches. Okay. So 5 inches, 5 1/2 inches at the top. You're going to score this every 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch, 1, 1 1/2, 2, 2 1/2, 3, 3 1/2, 4, 4 1/2, 5. Okay. So we're going to have 4 pages total. So we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to start on one of my middle pages. I'm going to fold it over and make sure that my hinge is lined up side to side. And I'm going to burnish that down. Okay. I'm going to go to the next page and burnish that one down. I have found if you are one who has, that was not the right one, but that's okay. If you are one who has a hard time making your hinges, when you start folding your hinge, if you start in the middle, they tend to come out a lot straighter. Okay. So I'm literally just going back and forth to get my first 2 hinges folded and burnished. I haven't glued anything yet. Okay. So then I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to do the one on the end. I don't do wings on mine. I don't think you need them. They are sturdy enough without. Okay, so there's 3. And 4. And there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and glue my rag handy. I'm going to burnish from the middle out. And I did that one about right. I didn't have anything squish out the ends. Do the next one. little more come out on that one, not a big deal. Okay, here's our next one. Okay, and our last one. The other way, burnish one more time. Okay, and then this is ready to go in here. I don't believe I'm going to mat on that hinge this time. I think I'm going to, I say that, and then as I'm looking at it, I'm like, no, I kind of want to mat it. But I don't know with what. So we're not going to put that in just yet while I think about that. We're going to build our pages. Okay. So scoreboard again. Our pages are going to be 7 inches high and 10 1/4. Did I literally cut all of these wrong? Oh my God, I did. Holy crap. Okay, so these should be 10 1/2. I'm going to go with it because I don't want to recut them and I don't want to waste all that paper. So you're going to score at 10 inches on all 4 pieces. We're going to pretend mine are the right size and I'm just going to go with it and it will be fine because I am not about to recut these. Okay. So this is going to be interesting because I'm only going to have a little, oh, sorry. I need another score line in there. 5 inches and 10 inches. I know what I meant. I got sidetracked by my screwed up page. Okay, so 5 inches and 10 inches. Like I said, yours will be 10 1/2. Mine are cut incorrectly, and I'm just going to go with it. Okay. Just do with that. Oh, it's going to be interesting. Okay. Fold that up and burnish from the middle out. Okay, so you're going to glue these closed, but before we glue the first one closed, we are going to slip this on our hinge and make sure that we made it short enough. And I did not. So I'm going to actually put this in my trimmer and take another sliver off of this. So instead of it being, so we're going to make it 4 7/8. 7/8, and then we know for sure that it's going to that our pages are going to slide right on once they're closed up. Yep, okay. So 4 7/8 on that. And wish me luck. you of course will cut your pages correctly, and you will have 1/2 inch there with which to adhere these closed. Like so. Okay? So we are going to do that with all 5, sorry, not 5, 4. Initially I had 5 pages, and then I changed my mind, which is probably where I'm making mistakes, because that's usually how this goes. Okay. Although my little screw up here will mean there's not going to be, there'll be less bulk where these pages seal up. Let's put a positive spin on it. How about that? Oh my gosh, it's too early. Like, I started cutting stuff at 7:30 this morning, in between cleaning, enough that I could actually get to my desk to do this, because it is a straight up disaster in here. I should be cleaning instead of doing this, but this needs done, so this sounded more fun. Okay. And there we go. Go there. And there we go there. Okay. So there's our pages. Here's our hinge. Let me find my paper. Find a piece. Oh, you know what? I can do that. Aha. We're going to do it that way. Alright, so I've got my 6x6 paper, and think about, we'll use that. And I'm going to go 1 7/8 by 5 3/8. And we'll put that down on there. Don't know why I didn't think of that sooner. Probably because this is not a size I do very often. That's probably why. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get glue on the back of my hinge. Okay. And we're just going to center it and then burnish down. I'm going to give that a second to dry. And I'm going to grab my hinge spacers, because again, this is a 1/2 inch gusset. So these are going to slide on just like so. And then on the other side, and because this is a shorter book, you're going to have a little bit of extra space on one end or the other when you put your spacers on. That's absolutely fine. In fact, let's get in here just a little bit closer. Okay, so there's your spacers. There's your hinges, okay? These are pushed all the way to the bottom, so you're going to have 1/8 of an inch between where your page attaches and the bottom of your hinge so that they will turn flawlessly, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue on both sides. Okay, so we got glue there, we got glue there. And then this just is going to slide down. You're going to put it on there until it hits your spacer, and then just pinch across to glue it in. Just like that. It's literally that simple. Okay? So I'm going to do the next one. And again, and because my pages are standing up, I can see that I'm getting them lined up exactly right. Pinch it closed again, and there we go. Okay, now if you're thinking it's too hard to put the glue directly on the hinge, you could, because of how we've constructed these, pinch it open, get your glue on the inside here, which honestly, in this case, is somewhat easier. Okay, like so. And same process. And the link for the spacers will be in the upper corner here. I believe when I add the tag, that's where YouTube puts it. I guess we'll find out, won't we? It might be on the other side. It'll be one or the other. Anyway. Okay. And the last one. And pinch. Now, all you're going to do is slide that off, and your pages are perfectly spaced, perfectly even in your book, and you've got that perfect eighth of an inch on every single one of them. Pretty dang cool, huh? Literally the second thing I made with the tiny glow forge that didn't cut them fast enough. I'm not even joking. Okay, let me get our inside elements together and I'll be right back. Okay, so front and back inside cover are going to be the same. They are both going to be waterfalls that we are going to build on a base. The base is 4 by 6. You need 5 pieces, 4 by 4.5. And we're going to score these at 1/2 inch with the 4.5 on the top. Okay. Because it is a waterfall, we are not going to miter. So I'm going to fold and burnish. And then grab my glue. And go ahead and put this together. Doing it on a base piece makes it much easier to line up, but apparently I can't cut my base piece right because this is not 4 inches, is it? Nope, it is 4 1/4 for some reason. Oh my lord, I'm telling you. Okay, there we go. Days, I just should not be allowed anywhere near any kind of paper trimmer. And today is apparently one of them. Granted, I was using scraps. Did I do it on both pieces? No, this one's right. One of them was right, one of them was not. Somehow I am not at all surprised by this. Okay. reason we are doing this on a base like this is because we are going to put ribbon around it, and it will be much easier to do that if it's on a base piece. So this is the blue ribbon that I got in my design team package. It is a little bit heavy, but we're going to make it work. And again, also why we're putting this on a base. Okay. Alright, so on the back side of this, I'm going to find some 1/2-inch score tape. And I'm going to get that as close to center as I can. Okay, 1/2-inch score tape. Center that up on there. Go ahead and tie it closed, which of course will be much easier once this is actually glued into the book, but we do need to mat underneath where this goes first, so I am going to leave that for now and just set it aside. We're going to repeat on this one. So again, front and back inside cover both the same, 5 pieces, 4 by 4.5, base piece that is 4 by 6. With the 4.5 at the top of the scoreboard, you're going to score at 1/2 inch. No scoring on the base. And then fold and burnish. And glue everything down. Okay, just like we did on the other piece. We are going to assemble our waterfall on our base, which of course helps keeping it lined up nice and straight. Okay. Okay. And this one, we're going to use the red and white. And I'm going to do the same thing again with 1/2-inch score tape across the middle-ish part of my base. And kind of figure out about how much of this one I need. Work like that, and hopefully that one is enough left for the closure of the book, although I don't know that we're going to need it. but we'll see. Okay, and go ahead and tie that and set it aside because we do need to mat the front and back inside cover before we put these in. So I'm just going to set those off to the side. We're going to move on to the front of page 1. So front of page 1 is very simple. It is a pocket. It is 3.5 by 8. So I'm going to score it 1/2 inch, turn, 1/2 inch, turn, and I'm actually going to take just a sliver off of that because somehow I think it's too long. And 1/2 inch. Okay. We are also going to notch this. So I have my envelope punch board. I'm going to put my ends together. Just make a tiny crease where the center of that is. Center it on here and punch. Okay? Easy peasy. So we're going to miter our top. We're going to cut through where our score lines cross in the bottom corners. And then we are going to fold and burnish, burnishing from the middle out. Okay, and that is going to go right here on the front of page 1. Okay. All right. Page 2. I'm sorry, the back of page 1, we have got a pocket and a couple of different flaps. Okay, so you need 2 pieces, 7 by 4.5. With the 4.5 at the top of the scoreboard, you're going to score it 1/2 inch on both pieces. You need a piece that is 3.5 by 7. With the 3.5 at the top, you're going to score it 1/2 inch. And the pocket is 8 by 3.5. And again, I'm going to cut just a sliver off of this. So it's just a hair under 8 inches. And I'm going to score it 1/2 inch, turn it, 1/2 inch again, turn, and 1/2 inch. We are going to notch this one as well. So I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to fold it, lightly crease where my center is, and line it up and punch. Okay. So we're going to miter across the bottom of our pocket. Miter the top, and then we're going to miter all 3 flaps. I'm going to do the 2 taller ones together because I can. Okay. All right, so I'll grab our book. We're going to put our pocket in first. I'm going to fold and burnish. And we're going to glue this in. sure I'm right side up because I literally was making cards last night and did one that is opening the wrong direction. So, so we do not have this happen again. We're going to do that. Okay, so you've got your two bigger flaps. I'm going to fold and burnish one. And take your smaller flap, fold and burnish. And it is going to go like so. Okay, so here's our tab at the top. This is going to go on the bottom down here. Okay, I am going to grab my corner rounder after I have glued that together, and I'm going to round that bottom corner. Okay, and then I can round those corners. Okay, I'm going to round my corners here. And fold and burnish this one as well. Okay, this one is going to go on top of the pocket. So this is the one that's just the flap by itself. Okay, this one is going to go on top. I'm going to turn this upside down so that I can see that I am lining it up correctly. Okay, now we're going to open this up. We're going to put a magnet right here. So let me grab my magnets. I do use different magnets. These are from a website called Total Element. I started buying them there when Tamara was having a hard time getting the magnets. Okay, so we're going to put it on the back side there. And close that down. Okay, so that will all close up like so. Okay, so one of them's there, the other one is on this top small flap like so. Okay, front of page 2. We have a side loading pocket. So this one is 6 by 3.5. We're going to score starting on the 6-inch side at 1/2 inch. Turn it 1/2 inch again. And again, I'm going to come in here and just take a tiny, tiny bit off that edge. And when I say a tiny, tiny bit, literally, like, that's how much I'm taking off, okay? And that's just to make sure that it's not hanging over the edge once we fold this and attach it to the page, okay? We're going to notch this one as well. So we're going to do the same thing. miter. Okay. Then we have a couple of flaps. One is 7 by 5. So with the 7 inches at the top of the scoreboard, we're going to score this at 1/2 inch. We're going to round our corners. I have to say, as much as I love rounding the corners, I do not love the little tiny pieces of paper that it generates when you do so, because they tend to go everywhere, and I have spent more time than I can tell you vacuuming them up. So if you're wondering why I keep like pausing and gathering them up and throwing them away, that's why. All right, so our second flap is going to be 3.5 by 4. We're going to put the 3.5 at the top of the scoreboard and score at 1/2 inch. And we're going to round the corners on this one. In fact, if you're not sure if you're lining them up right, turn it upside down so you can see to make sure your corner's in all the way. And then we are going to miter, which is the other little tiny pieces that end up all over the place here. And why I'm pausing between each one of them to pick them up. Okay, so we're going to grab our book. We're going to fold and burnish our pocket and attach that. So that is going to come to this outside edge. Okay. Our little 3 by 4 flap is going to go on top. Centered. Okay. Our other flap is going to go to the other side so that it comes across like so. It is the same height as our page, but it is not quite as wide, so you'll see where that overlaps. And again, we're going to do another little magnet. So my magnet is not quite in the right place. So we need to move it down so it's below our notch. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to put that one there. I'm going to peel this one off. And it's going to actually go on the top because once we mat it, it's not going to matter. Okay? All right. Moving on to the back of page 2 and the front of page 3. So these, we're going to do a diagonal pocket with a flap over the top. So they're going to both be the same. So for the diagonal pocket, you need a piece that is 6 by 8. We are going to score this at 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. Okay? Like so. Okay? Our flaps are 5.5 by 7. So with the 5.5 at the top of the scoreboard, excuse me, we are going to score these at 1/2 inch. All right, so I'm going to round my corners. See what I'm saying? They just kind of go everywhere. Ugh. Okay. I am going to go ahead and miter my corners on both of the flaps. Okay. And fold and burnish, and we're going to put these on first. So I'm going to grab my book. I'm going to turn it upside down. And put the flap on both sides. Turn it back around. I am going to take my trimmer and I'm going to line up my corners like so, and cut that in half. Okay. Now, we're going to cut across on the bottom where they intersect, and then up here at the top, you're going to aggressively miter those top and bottom corners. Okay? So basically, when you fold this in, you shouldn't see any of that tab. I know what I'm trying to say, I promise. Okay. All right, so that one's going to go over here. And if you do see the tab when you fold it over, just trim it again. Okay. So we're going to go here, like so. Apparently my top is like a little wonky. I don't think I scored it quite right, but that's okay. Because we can just trim it. Okay, and the other side. I'm going to do the same thing. And there we go. Burnish those down. And then those are just going to close down on top like so. And we'll move on. Okay, so sorry, I have my notes and my sketches off to the side here. All right, so page 3 on the back, we've got 2 flaps, actually 4 flaps and a pocket. I'm going to start with the pocket. My pocket is 2.5 by 8. So again, I am going to just take a sliver off the end. And I'm going to score it 1/2 inch, turn it to the long side, 1/2 inch again, turn 1/2 inch again. Find our center. And you can absolutely do that with a ruler. This is just faster. Okay. Miter. I think I went quite far enough up on that one. And miter. And then we can fold and burnish. Okay. All right, and then we've got 2 pieces, 4 by 5.5. So with the 5, that's right, okay. With the 5.5 at the top, we're going to score it 1/2 inch. We're going to miter. And round our corners. Okay. Our other 2 flaps are 3.5 by 4.5. With our 4.5 at the top, we're going to score at 1/2 inch. And again, we're going to miter. And round our corners. Okay. I'm going to clean up all of these teensy pieces. All right. So we're going to put our pocket down. No, we're not. We're going to put our large flaps down first. Okay. So these are going to come in from the side, and we're just going to center. And center. Okay, we can open that up. Now we'll go ahead and put our pocket in. So these are going to close over that like so. These 2 are going to come down from the top, like so. Okay. So, because they are 3.5 inches each, they're going to be right up against each other side by side. Okay. Just like so. Okay. Again, I'm going to grab my little magnets. Trying to see how I want to do this. I think I want them just above the pocket, because we will mat over that. And I'm going to close those, close this, and let that attach down where it is, and then put them down. Okay. All right, we're on page 4. I believe these are actually supposed to be 5 by 4, not 4.5. Yeah. Okay. So 5 by 4, you need 2 of them. I cut them just a hair under 4 because they're going to meet in the middle. Okay, so with the 4 at the top, you're going to score it 1/2 inch. Okay. We are going to miter. And around our corners. And then fold and burnish. And then these, and I'm going to dry fit and make sure everything lines up the way I want it to. We're just going to go like so, and I cut them slightly shorter than I meant to, but you know what, it's okay. It will be just fine. Okay. All right. And then I've got this one, and I'm not sure why I have this one. Oh, because this is just how this goes sometimes. I'm wondering if it was actually supposed to... come down like that. I think it was. Okay. So this should be 4 by 5.5, not 6. Okay, so 4 by 5.5. Sorry about that. When I sketched this out last night, it was late. Okay, 5.5 at the top. You're going to score it 1/2 inch. We're going to round our corners and miter. And then fold and burnish, just like always. And this is going to go at the top and come down over the middle. I don't think this one's going to need a magnet because I think once it's matted, it will be good. Okay, so like so. That, and I think I'm going to use, I had my little acrylic piece. I think I'm going to actually try and use that there, but we'll see. Okay. Back side of page 4 is literally a belly band and an insert, which is super simple. I don't want that. I want this. Okay, so our belly band is 2.5 by 6. I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch on each end. And again, I'm going to take just a sliver off of that. And then we've got an insert that is 6.5 by 9. With the 9 at the top, we are going to score this at 4.5. Okay, and around my corners. And fold and burnish my insert. And then I'm going to round again. Okay. We're going to miter on our belly band. And fold and burnish. And then just center it. Burnish that down. And then of course that will just slide in there like so. Okay. Now, let's see if I think we have enough, possibly, to do that. If not, I'll use it somewhere else. So I'm going to go ahead and set that aside so it's ready to go, and go ahead and get some matting together. I'll show you how we're going to mat the notch pockets and then mat the front and inside covers so that we can put our little waterfalls in here, and I'll be right back. Okay, so matting. So what I did, typically when I'm matting, I'm going to go 1/8 of an inch smaller than the page size or the cover size or whatever. So our covers are 5.5 by 7.5, so my matting is 5 3/8 by 7 3/8. So I just used petite prints to mat my front and back inside cover, so we can go ahead and put our waterfall down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my glue on the back, and I'm going to leave it about 1/2 inch from the top, just so I can take some of my odds and ends pieces and be able to tuck them down in the top part here. So I'm going to center that up, just going to eyeball it. So I did have the pack of the matching petite prints for Hometown USA. So this is the lily white dot stripe pattern that I used on my front and back, and I lined my stripes up so that they're running the same way as the stripes from the 6x6 print that I used to mat underneath my my hinge. Let's put it to the back. And then same thing on the back here. I'm going to leave about 1/2 inch at the very top that is not glued, because then, like I said, I can tuck odds and ends pieces or chit chat or something in the top there and have it kind of peeking out. Okay. And then for all of our notched pockets, so this is 3x7 finished sized with the notch. So I've cut this to 6 7/8 by 2 7/8. And I'm going to, just in case when so like I folded to get my notch centered here. I folded it and then lined it up here and punched it. Just in case I slid it slightly to one side or the other when I did that. I've cut my matting to the right size. I'm going to line it up and I'm going to mark about where the center of that notch is so that I can line it up here and do the same thing. Okay? And that is just about perfect, so I can go ahead and glue that down. For the base matting on the base part of my pages throughout the book, I did just use the petite prints again because they are not directional, number one. And number two, because my page bases are 5 by 7, I was able to use 2 sheets of petite prints, cut them all to 5 by 7 using the trick where you put the 12 by 12 sheet in at 5 inches in your trimmer and cut it up to 7, turn it, line it up to 5, cut it up to 7, and keep turning, and you get 4 5 by 7 pieces out of one 12 by 12 sheet. I then took those 5 by 7s and cut 1/8 of an inch off of one long side, one short side, so that they are 6 7/8 by 4 7/8, and then they mat the bases of these pages perfectly. Okay, so this one is again the 3 by 7. So again, I'm going to line this up, find my approximate center, and that actually worked beautifully because it's kind of right in between my little fat birds there. I only kind of cut off a tiny bit on their little backs, so that worked out beautifully. Let's not do that. Here's my thing. Okay. Okay. And this one is the border paper. So I will not need to decorate the inside of this one. I can matte decorate here, but I don't need to decorate on that pocket itself. So this one is 5 by 3, and we're going to do the exact same trick. So this is 2 7/8 by 4 7/8. I'm going to line it up. I'm going to mark where my center is on my notch. And then I can take, no, I think I want the red plaid up. And again, punch that out. Take the backing off of our tape that's holding our magnet down, maybe. There we go. And then we can go ahead and glue this one. There. Okay, so for our diagonal pockets, we need a print that is non-directional. Okay, so this side with fireworks, of course, is directional. And I totally cut that wrong, didn't I? What did I do? Hold on. So this should be 5 by 7, not 6 by 8. So 4 7/8 by 6 7/8. Totally like not thinking that one through. All right, so 4 7/8 by 6 7/8. We want this to be non-directional. So we are going to line our corners up just like we did when we made the pocket and trim it. And then it's not going to work because, there we go. So that's how that's going to go in. It would have been best if I had a print that was non-directional on both sides, but this one works where it's going to be okay. I do still need to trim just a tiny bit off of one side here So I'm going to take another 1/8 of an inch off on that side so that this lines up the way I want it to. I'm going to take just another sliver off on the other side as well. So that's the thing when you're matting the diagonal pockets, is just kind of line it up and see. So somehow my pockets are slightly off, but you know what? It's fine. I'm going to go ahead and mat this the way it is. You'll see here it's wider up here. I can actually take some trim. I've got some little, I have the rickrack that was in the value bundle that matches this, that I think I'm actually going to use on the top of this pocket to cover that up. So that one's actually going to be fine the way it is. So we'll line it up so that our bottom corner over here is fine. We'll use rickrack to cover that up. Yeah, somehow I think it must have slid when it was in the scoreboard, because usually I've had them be slightly off, but not to that extent. So clearly when I was scoring that, I did not do a good job. But you know what? It's okay. It's handmade. It doesn't have to be perfect. And everything is fixable. So, okay. Same thing on this side. And then we will end up using that rickrack. Let me grab that and we will do that together very quickly. It's bad. Bear with me 1 second. Hopefully this is wide enough to do what we want it to do. So I'm going to find my end. Let's see. Not quite as wide as I would like. So let's look at the ribbon that was in the value bundle. Let's see if that will work instead. Well, I know that'll work, but let's see what that looks like on there. I don't know. I don't know that I like either one of those options. Oh, you know what I can do? I'm going to have to use 2 different ones, which is fine. We're going to use this, because this I can run right along the edge of that pocket and cover up my boo-boo. When I get down to the bottom here, and line my scissors up just like that. And same thing up here. Just like that and like that. And then that lines up just beautifully. I am going to pull it up and put glue on the back. We are going to go right up along that edge, all the way along that pocket, and that actually looks really cute, so it was okay. So for this side, let's see here. Do I have enough of that one left? I don't think I do, but we're going to try it. You know what? I think it's, well, it's a little short. It's a little shorter than I would prefer, so I'm not going to use that one. I think I'm going to use this wider one instead that has the silver foiling. Here, we're going to come up like this. And then across on this top corner, like so. And there we go. Actually, I kind of like how that worked out. That was not my intention by any means. But sometimes the diagonal pockets do not always work out the way you planned, which is clearly the case here. But you know what? The fix for it actually is pretty stinking cute. So there we go. So there's those. These do not have magnets. I will probably use Doodle Pops because that will help weight those pages down. I think this is our other pocket. It is. Okay. So this one is 2 by 7, so 6 7/8 by 1 7/8. We're going to do our same little trick here to punch out our center. And glue it down. Okay. All right, so that one is where I think I'm going to try and use my acrylic shaker that I made. Because as you can see, so the finished size on these, if you use both of the frames that come with them, is about 3/8 of an inch. We've got a 1/2 inch gusset, so it will actually go on there just fine. What I'm going to do, however, is find my little negative pieces for this one, which are right here. I'm going to use this to trace on, here's my 6 by 6. There's a 6 by 6 paper pad over here. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to find this paper. And I'm going to do it on the back side so I can really see what it is that I'm cutting out here. I'm going to line it up on an edge. Okay. And then cut this out. And then, I'm wondering, no, not quite the right angle. That's okay. This corner needs to quite come around right there. But I did on the other side, so. Let's see. Let's see if that's enough. Oh yeah, I like that. That's going to work really well. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, this is clear Gorilla Glue pen. It is from Michaels. It is what I use to adhere this together. It is absolutely crystal clear. It is amazing. We're going to see how this works on paper. Because I want to put this on the back. If I had done this originally on the inside there, that honestly would have been even better. Okay, to get this to adhere to a non-porous surface, you need a little bit of water. You don't need tons, so I'm just going to spray that and get it mostly wiped off. But so it's just a tiny bit damp. And then I'm going to lay this on the back here. And that will, that's kind of cool too, because you can still kind of move it. So this will need to dry for just a little bit here. Let me kind of wipe around my edge here. But then when I go to put this actually in the book, I can just glue on the paper itself to adhere it in the book. Okay, so that will go here, but this does have to sit and set up first, so that's going to take it a few minutes. So I'll come back to that, of course, after I've matted right here. And then I think that was it. I think everything else matting wise is fairly standard. Like I said, so like this is 2.5 by 5, so I would do this to 2 3/8 by 4 7/8. And on that one, I think I am going to use a 6 by 6 again, which is the other nice thing with this being the size that it is we do have that as an option. So there we go, 2 3/8 by 4 7/8. I'm sorry, 2 3/8, not 2 7/8. Okay, so there we go, that one's ready to go. And since I don't know what I'm doing for the rest of my matting, I'm going to go through and figure that out and figure out my front and back cover. I did not have quite enough of this left to do my closure on the outside here, so I am going to use my favorite ribbon to do closures with, which is this sheer polka dot from Country Craft Creations. So that's what I'm going to use for my outside closures. So I can go ahead actually and put this on. So I've just got 1/2 inch score tape. I'm going to leave it a little longer than what I probably truly need, but that's because I'm bow challenged, and God knows I'll probably need every inch of that I just left there in order for me to actually tie a halfway decent bow. But we'll see. I may be able to trim some of that off, but I'm not gonna push it. Okay, so I will figure out my cover. I don't know for sure yet what I want to do there exactly, but we'll have this nice fluffy white bow on my end here, like so. I think I will do some page inserts here, which I'll show you those when we come back, and that's what I will use the leftover of my red and blue ribbon on the ends of those to pull those out. So let me figure out the rest of my inside matting, and by the time we come back with that, this should be dry and ready to put inside the book. On the cover too, we are going to use some of my acrylic fireworks that I have in my shop, and I know that Tammy gave a set of these away here a couple weeks ago, but we will figure that out when we come back. Okay, so let's talk about the cover. So I've gone ahead and matted the outside with the blue artisan glitter. I know she's not restocking this. The new glitter papers are the tonic that come 5 sheets of 8.5 by 11 to a pack. So I'll find the closest one to that I can. I've still got a stack of the artisan glitter that was there for a little bit. But I'll find a similar color and link it in the description. So I've done that, and then what I've got here is a piece of the firework acetate that is 5 by 7. So what I'm going to do, this will go on here. However, before I do that, I want to build up my layers on here. I am using the really thin foam tape in this case because I don't want it to stand up too much. And the reason we're going to do it on this first, before we put the acetate on there, is because we're going to use our elements that we're going to put on here to hide our adhesive on our acetate that is then going to go on to attach the whole thing together. Okay. So I'm just adding foam tape to the back of my little chit chat piece here and my odds and ends piece. To get those popped up the way I want. So this is going to go down here and hang off of the acetate just a hair. Same thing with July, it's going to hang off just a tiny bit on the other side. Fourth is going to overlap just a touch there, and then I've got my firework acetate pieces that I'm going to use, and those I'm going to just attach with score tape. And that is literally all there is to it. So I'm going to put one of them right there. One of them right here. And I think that little guy is going to go up there. Okay, so all of that is now attached. So I'm going to flip this over to the back side. And now we're going to do our adhesive on the back. And I am using the thin foam tape again. And rather than sit and kind of fight with the entire roll, I just cut off a length of it, and then I'm just cutting these to size and putting them behind our elements that are on the front of our acetate. Okay, couple more pieces. All right, so there we go. Okay. Excuse me. I don't know what caused that. Okay. Okay, so then we're just gonna excuse me. Go ahead and stick that down, and there we go. There's our cover. On the back side, excuse me, I actually had another piece of this cut, and I think what I'm going to do is basically same thing. I'm going to use this from the This and That sticker sheet, and then I'm just going to put score tape on the back. I'm not going to pop the back piece up. I have no idea where that came from. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, and there we go. Okay, so the only thing I have left is inserts. So I have my big bin full of, folio thingy full of scraps. I'm just going to pull some out because we're going to do the inserts out of the navy artisan instead of the red. And there's my, I was like, where'd my paper trimmer go? So I want to do these, and I may not need all these pieces. 4.5. I could go 4 3/4. So 4 3/4. I think we're going to start at 7. So our pages, of course, are 5 by 7. Yep, that'll be just about right. Okay. Okay, that's easy enough. All I'm going to do is top these with some white photo mats, which I'm not even sure I'm going to do that. I might just leave them as is. I thought about doing some ribbon on the ends, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to leave them just like that because I think they're good. Okay, so we've got our shaker in here. We've got our inserts. I'm trying to think if there was anything out of the ordinary I did here. Not really. I used some of my petite prints for photo mats on some of these pages. I'll use leftover cut-aparts and things that I will put in some of my pockets here. So like there and there. So yeah, I am just down to decorating. So this is just 3x4 cut aparts that I cut down to fit height wise, and then that's actually, the stars are actually one of the border strips that I just trimmed down to fill that extra space. Again, photo mats, same thing here, just, you know, very basic. The weight of that's keeping that down. I did not mat my little insert here, but I will most likely just do white photo mats on that one as well. I might throw a cut apart on there if I feel so inclined, but if not, it's not a big deal. So my waterfalls are both matted the same basic principle. So I've got a 4x4 cut apart that I cut down so it would fit height wise, and then I've added just a 1-inch strip on the edges of the waterfall that show. So I did that same thing front and back. Added my ribbon, and there you go. So as always, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell if you want to be notified when I post new projects. And links to everything to make this will be in the description box below. As always, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.